Okay, we're going to try and draw these nail clippers as best as we can. Now these can be kind of tricky because it's all about angles. So you'll notice I'm measuring the angles and checking it with my pencil. What I'm doing is holding it up to my screen and getting that angle correct and then bringing it down to the paper. And so I'm just lightly sketching in what angles I think are close. And the tricky part about the clippers are it's not just straight angles, it tapers off. So it gets smaller towards the back. And then you have this little lever that you twist around and it comes up off of the clipper. And every angle is just different, and they're a little bit organic too, where it comes and opens from the back to the front what I'm drawing right here. And so even looking at my drawing now as I'm narrating, I can see some mistakes that I've made, but this is just a sketch to get us going, and so we're not going to be too critical, right? So I'm really looking at the opening. These negative spaces help these angles, and where does this angle attach and hit the top part of the clipper to the bottom part? That will really help you get those proportions correct, and where that mouth is towards the front. And as I come back, I want to make sure that that dead space, that negative space, is as close as I can get that. In the circle, this circle part that has that joint, we want it to be closer to the top left than center because of the angle we're looking at. And then I'm going to readjust that bottom part of the clipper is below and inside of the top piece as it goes back. It's not lined up straight up and down. And then I'm just going to make this a cylinder that would fall all the way through to the bottom. We don't see it, but I draw it just to help me get that shape correct and as close as I can. And then I'm going to do this little top piece, and this piece tapers off, but it also has a little bit of a bend, and that can be tricky. So it bends in two different spots. So we want to try and get that believable that it has an attachment and then starts lifting off at that bend right there. Okay, and the thing that I'm talking about when I talk about like relationships of items and that helps me get proportions is where did that little piece attach to the top piece? Where does it start and where does it stop? And then where does it end that shape? And what pieces of the clippers do I see, or what pieces of the clippers does it cover? And that's just that nail file area I'm talking about. Now I'm just going to go in and ink my lines once I decide they look good. And one excellent tool to use is just stepping away from your drawing, come back, looking at the original, making sure your proportions are as close as you can get before you ink. And then I'm going in with two different pens, the finer tipped pen to give my details because this is a smaller sketch, and then I let that ink dry and erase it, and then we are done.